Senator Lieberman, let me begin. Senator McCain was very clear in the last couple of days. He said that he thought that this bailout bill was going south, so he was going to suspend the bill, come to Washington, and wanted to postpone the debate. Well, there is still no agreement on the bailout package, and yet now he's going to the debate. You've been with him. Why did he change his mind?
One, John made the right decision in coming back to Washington to try to bring the parties together so we could avoid an economic disaster and do so in a way that protected taxpayers, which is what he wanted to do. Two, there was no deal yesterday, and I think he worked very hard over the last 2 days, shuttling between the Senate and the House on the phone with the administration and the White House, and moved it to a point where now the four leading parties are in a room together and they're negotiating. I think Senator McCain felt that he had it at a point where there was nothing more he could do for the next few hours, and that he could go to Mississippi, which he's wanted to do all along, and have this debate. He'll get right on the plane and come back when it's done. And look, Senator Obama and Senator McCain must have been here. They needed to be here because as presidential nominees, they are the titular leaders of their respective parties. Right. This is big and urgent business.
Well, nobody quarrels with that. But my question to you, Senator, is what is it precisely that Senator McCain did to make a qualitative difference in the outcome?
Well, I think the most important thing he did, and again, he comes as the leader of the Republican Party, is to engage the House Republicans in this negotiating effort. Congressman Blunt is now one of four at the table with Barney Fank-Christad and Judd Gregg. And this agreement is not going to make it with the small number of people who announced an outline yesterday. Speaker Pelosi has been very clear. She will not pass this agreement with only Democratic votes in the House, and I understand that. So you need to bring in some of the House Republicans. Senator McCain
has not even declared his position on the bailout plan.
Well, he has from last week, a week ago today, he said it was urgent that action be taken to avert a national economic disaster.
Right.
He gave 5 conditions that he said had to be part of it. 3 or 4 of those are actually, in some ways all 5 are actually in the proposal that's being discussed now. But you gotta get an agreement around here to get anything done, and you can't do it with a small number of people. The House Republican caucus has to be brought in, and I think the most significant thing Senator McCain did in the 2 days that he was here working very hard was to do exactly that.
Is he going to deliver his House caucus, those recalcitrant Republicans who didn't like this deal? Can he deliver them now?
Well, he's trying as hard as he can, but let's be clear about this. It takes 2 to tango, or in this case 4 to tango. Senate and House Republicans and Democrats. So the Democrats have to be willing to move a little bit to bring the House Republicans into this, and that's why the negotiations going on now are so important. But I believe that John McCain played a critical role in bringing the discussions to this point. I'm optimistic that we're going to have an agreement this weekend, and when the markets open on Monday, they can do so with some reassurance. But it's going to be an agreement with a lot more protections for taxpayer money than would have been in there when this started earlier in the week or even yesterday.
Senator, how do you respond to the criticism to a lot of people that this was election year, end of the campaign season maneuvering by Senator McCain to try to look like he was the one who could get some credit for crisis management here, that in the end this was nothing more than a political stunt?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, number one, this is John McCain as I've known him over the last 20 years as a colleague and friend in the Senate. Just about every time when there's a big problem or a national crisis, he's in the middle of it, bringing people together to get things done. And I think he said to himself out on the campaign trail, I belong in Washington. So does Barack Obama. Our nation is on the verge of the abyss, and I got to go back there and make it work. Incidentally, David, when he did that, he took a risk, because he's now, in some sense, more accountable for whether anything happens or not than he would have been if he stayed on the trail. But
so
that's
you're
McCain.
saying this is going to be John McCain's bill?
Well, it's not going to be John McCain's bill, but if it doesn't happen, he put himself on the line, and I think he did it because he knows how important it is for the country that we get an agreement, and one that protects taxpayers.
So would you also say then, Senator, given the stakes here, given the importance of this legislation, that Senator Obama played as constructive a role as Senator McCain coming back to Washington?
I don't think Senator Obama played as critical a leadership role. Senator McCain was the one who said, I'm going back to Washington, I'm suspending my campaign. Senator Obama followed him here yesterday and left right away. And look, the key ingredient here was to bring these House Republicans to the table to negotiate an agreement. John McCain was the person who made that happen. And I'm proud of him that he did it. And now they got to reach an agreement for the good of the country.
Senator Lieberman, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks, David.